would superheroes be without their gadgets?
Or wizards without their potions? Not that impressive, hey? That's where science and technology turns regular heroes into superheroes. Super science heroes, to be exact. But what happens when a superhero doesn't quite have the words to back up his actions?
A lot less power than you would think. Because even superheroes cannot rely on their superpowers and tech alone.
This is why the South African Agency of Science and Technology has created a debating competition to develop super science heroes with voices of their own.
The purpose of the competition is to give you, the youth of South Africa, the confidence to speak about science. Because speaking about science will help us come up with creative solutions to the world's scientific problems.
Besides the fact that you will now be a super sexy science hero who gets everyone's attention, there are also other advantages to being involved.
This video will take you through this year's competition step by step. We will show you how everything is going to work on competition day, and we will also throw in some handy tips. In addition to all of this, we will also share some important information regarding the research process. In short, we are going to give you all the tools you need to make yourself into a science winner that will demand the attention of any audience.
So, to all you South African science pioneers of the future, we say good luck. This is not working. Research. Why is it necessary and so important? Here are some great reasons. 1. Good research will make for a great opening statement come competition day. Good research will prevent you from ever being at a loss for words, and it will give you the edge you need to become a winner.
Researching is the process of using different sources of information, whether it be books, expert opinions, or even reliable internet articles to strengthen your argument or to oppose another's argument.
Normally, information confirmed from 3 different reliable sources should be enough to show you that your argument has the right stuff. In addition to the debating manual, you may wish to fatten up your speech by obtaining information from a number of other sources. Here are a few you can consider.
It's no surfing weekend in Jeffreys Bay, but you'll definitely find yourself trawling the web. Your first destination? google.co.za. Be very specific with your keywords though. The phrase, how to ask a girl out, can come out with very different results than if you were to search for how to ask a person of the opposite sex out.
While Wikipedia is a good way to get background information, you should know that it is often not so wiki know-it-all as you might think. And while we are on websites, it is vitally important to ensure that the sites you get your information from are trustworthy. How does one check that?
Spelling mistakes and amateur design? Nope, that site should probably not be trusted.
Official websites of universities, research and government institutions, now we're talking.
Check the About Us page of a site. It usually is a clear way to verify whether the website sources are to be trusted. .edus, .orgs, .acs are normally legit.
Locations and publishing dates are important. A site claiming to have been published in 1969, yep, they do exist, will obviously contain outdated information. Is it then safe to regard it as legit in a current argument? Probably not.
Is a website about Russian or Ugandan cattle farmers relevant to a South African argument? Nope. Ensure your information is local and relevant.
Believe it or not, There is a place where people like your parents used to get information long before the internet existed. You may have heard of libraries. Yep, they still exist, and they have huge amounts of valuable info, many of which you will never find on the internet at all. Know that a published book will always be regarded as a more credible source than most information found online. And fear not, you won't need a GPS to find your way around your local town or university's library. There will always be a catalogue and a friendly librarian who will assist you to find what you need.
And finally, do not neglect the value of interviews with experts. Just make sure you're speaking to the right authority on any given subject. Though your Oma or Gogo might have many opinions on Einstein and the theory of relativity, it will be wise rather to consult with a university professor about matters such as these. SAASTA will make a variety of experts available to you over the duration of the competition.
These gurus can talk about subjects such as bloodhound, nanotechnology, biotechnology, hydrogen and fuel cell technology.
Ask your facilitators' help to get you access to these science heroes and their vast knowledge and skills.
Remember, when quoting the source of any information, you need to know the name of the writer, his or her field of expertise, and the publication. You must be able to state exactly where you have found any given piece of information. And in addition, you need to motivate the reason you deem your source, whether that is the writer, publication, or the organization, to be reputable.
All these research methods can and should be used throughout all of the rounds of the competition, as you will have access to the internet and other resources on the day.
So, save Mark Shuttleworth's number into your speed dial before you embark on this learning adventure, along with those of other experts other than your Gogo.
Hey, I like my Gogo. Shut up about my Gogo. While we are similar in many ways, we are also distinctly different. And with that difference in mind, we have the ingenuity to meet challenges like repairing a hole in the ozone layer.
Well, unfortunately, some things can't be fixed, not even by super science heroes. But what we can be sure of is that 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads, or as is the case in this competition, 5 heads are always better than just 1.
Where other debating competitions focus on who is right and who is wrong, who is better and who is worse, we are focusing this year's competition on creatively finding solutions.
So, super science heroes to the rescue! We all know what the problems are, but what are the solutions?
Use that bubbling, creative superhero energy and creative brain power to find fresh answers through discussion with others. This is what this competition is all about.
Finding answers and solutions.
Each competition is made up of 3 sessions. Session 1 is known as the opening statements. Session 2 is called the imbizos. And session 3 is referred to as the closing statements. Both the opening and closing statements are adjudicated, but not the imbizos. This middle session is intended to be a process during which teams will discuss and research and formulate the outcome to be presented in their closing statements. Each competing team has 5 members.
The eagle has landed, or has it? It's late at night, I'm lying in my bed, staring at the full moon through my open window. The famous words of Neil Armstrong running through my mind. And I wonder what really happened.
During the first session, one learner from each team will get the chance to deliver a prepared speech. This opening statement needs to outline the team's position towards the issue at hand, as well as provide possible solutions. The opening statement must furthermore discuss themes by utilizing the perspectives of science communication. Note that teams will be briefed on which perspective to use in their opening statements in advance, and it will be one of the following. Application and benefit. Developments in science and technology should address the needs and challenges of society. From this perspective, some points to consider are: what can or will the science or technology practically offer or do for the individual and or society? What are the benefits to society? What are the risks or potential fallout? Does the potential application address short-term needs or have long-term benefits? Is it sustainable? Will the development of the particular technology require or drive further scientific and technological advancement? Economic. Research and development in science and technology requires significant financial investment, but can lead to new technology that has large economic benefit. Some points to consider are: what level of investment into research and development of technology is required? What will it cost to benefit from the science and technology? What are the economic benefits? Does it support growth of developing economies? Socio-cultural. Developments in science and technology are influenced by and impact culture values and dynamics. What social or cultural issues exist around science? Are there ethical or moral issues to consider? Is the advancement of the science and implementation of technology hindered or supported by cultural beliefs? Will the advancement of science impact attitudes and bring about cultural evolution? Does the science and technology advance society? Political. Scientific developments and implementation of technologies take place within a political environment. From this perspective, some points to consider are: who owns the scientific knowledge and products? Are there issues of equity? Who is involved in the decision-making process? Are governments accountable for their decisions around the science and technology? Can society be involved in the process of scientific research and technology development? In order for you to ensure that your audience is captivated throughout your speech and that you do not lose their attention, there are a number of practical things you may want to consider. This is not the time to impress the judges and audience with big words and jargon that no one else will understand. Keep it short and powerful, and ensure that your audience understands your argument from the word go. Use stories or draw from your own experience when trying to explain tricky concepts. This will make your content more accessible. Add a human touch, and it will make you as presenter easier to identify with. Speak clearly and ensure that you are audible to everyone in the audience. That said, a well-placed whisper can sometimes be as effective as a loud shout for dramatic effect. Raise and lower the pitch of your voice according to the accents in your presentation. Create rhythm by accelerating and slowing down the tempo of your delivery at specific points. Be confident. Make an effort with your appearance. Be neat and presentable. It is crucial that you maintain eye contact with your audience throughout. Use body language to your advantage. Maintain good posture and use hand and facial expressions to strengthen your connection with your listeners. As far as the content of your opening statement is concerned, you will impress the judges if you can clearly exhibit that you truly have a complete understanding of the issue you are discussing. Your opening statement should clearly highlight your position on the issue that you're discussing. You must illustrate connection of the specific science perspective to the issue at hand. You must discuss the present-day relevance of the topic, and finally, you need to provide a tangible solution to the issue being discussed, or alternatively, outline a strategy for finding solutions moving forward. After all opening statements have been made, each team will be required to deliver a response statement. This is an unprepared speech in which your team needs to make it clear that you have an understanding of the issue being discussed, but that you are also capable of formulating and communicating constructive criticism. You will therefore be judged on your ability to constructively criticize and scrutinize in order to agree or disagree with the opening statement. You will also need to further explain the team's position and, in addition, your ability to respond to criticism of your team's argument will earn you points. The debater's formal response statements need to remain consistent with the general attitude of the team's opening statement. Teams will often have to adapt their stance while still faithfully representing their initial position.
Remember to take notes during the opening statements so that you can give logical and well-structured feedback. Oh yes, and you can use Facebook and Twitter to give feedback on the various opening statements as they're being made. You can use this afterwards as well as a central place for recapping notes when preparing your response statement. While the first session focused on sharing information, the second session will aim to find solutions by working together as a group. The collective wisdom of the group is tapped into through Imbisos, the Zulu word for meeting or gathering. The big circle Imbiso happens first. The chairperson organizes participants in a full circle Imbiso by reorganizing the chairs. He or she then invites all the participants to spend the next 10 minutes identifying any topics relating to issues that may have been presented during the opening statements. Any participant who wants to raise a topic will write a short description of the topic, typically up to 7 words on a sheet of paper, and then announce it to the group.
I just wanted to talk about the fact that about the moon and the landing and how there might actually be liquid on the moon, so the footprints thing might actually be not true.
How to formulate a topic. Which of the opening statements really got you thinking? Formulate the topic by starting the sentence with, "I believe." Keep it creative but simple. People should immediately understand what you aim to speak about.
With a controversial topic like, "I believe the moon landing never happened and was just a conspiracy," you will immediately attract attention. Just make sure you have the facts to prove your point. The object of the second session is to invoke discussion. So when you think you've nailed a good topic, present it to the group confidently. If you have passion for your statement, others will want to join the conversation.
It is not compulsory for every participant to raise a topic or issue, but if a participant does choose to, he or she will be responsible for leading the mini Imbiso on that topic. The mini Imbisos are discussions in smaller, informal groups and is the next step in the competition process. The leader of a mini Imbiso is also responsible for publishing its outcome to social media. Once everyone has decided on and explained their topics, the mini Imbiso leaders must stick the piece of paper on which the topic was written to a notice board in order to allocate the meeting space and time slot for that discussion. The notice board sets the agenda for the mini Imbisos which are to follow. Each learner can now select the topic discussions they find interesting and wish to attend, irrespective of which team they are a part of. Mini Imbisos are not attended as teams.
And now the fun begins. Because you, the participants, are responsible for what happens next. You're on your own. There will be no adults around to bother you. Every learner will now get the chance to attend the mini Imbisos they choose to attend. Each mini Imbiso will have a duration of 20 minutes, 13 of which will consist of the topic discussion. 5 minutes are allocated to conclude the conversation and to post the outcomes to social media. The remaining 2 minutes will be utilized to move to the next topic discussion. As mentioned earlier, the participant who raised the topic or issue during the big circle discussion is also the leader of the mini Imbiso for that topic. It is also his or her responsibility to post the outcome to social media. All participants will have full access to the internet as well as other research resources. So bring along your laptops, tablets and smartphones. You will definitely need them during the competition.
How to facilitate an Imbiso. Ask if someone in the group is willing to take notes. It'll help share the load of leading the discussion. Start by quickly recapping what your topic was about and briefly go over your logic and arguments. Now that everyone is on the same page, you can invite others in the group to share their opinions and insights. While this is happening, it is important to regulate the traffic of the discussion. Make sure everyone gets a chance to speak and that nobody interrupts someone else while they're talking. Considering the time constraints, it is important to try and keep each person's chance to talk brief to allow the rest a chance to speak as well.
What if only the topic announcer shows up for a session? No need to cry. You can use the time to peacefully think the issue through and record your thoughts as a contribution to the proceedings on social media. You can also join another discussion on a related topic and see if they are open to combining the topics. If you really feel you're not up for it, you can drop the topic altogether, in which case you just indicate on your post that no one showed up so that the session has been accounted for.
Posting the outcome on social media. When posting to social media, sum up each person's contribution into brief points. Having the note taker read them to you while you're online might help speed up the process and give the group a chance to hear their points again and confirm that they are correct before posting. When summarizing points, try focus on those that best support and strengthen the argument of the topic.
Whoever attends the discussion are the right people. Whatever happens, happens. When it starts, it starts. So give it your all, and when it's over, it's over. Don't stress if it didn't go your way. There will be many other opportunities to get involved again. Even though these sessions will not officially be judged, the judges will be listening to the group sessions to see how well different teams are working together and participating in the discussions. So, do your best for your group and get involved. There's no such thing as bad ideas when brainstorming.
For the last session, participants will regroup their original teams and the teams will then work to consolidate all the information from the mini and B source that were attended by the individual members. The various outcomes will be read out loud and the team will then work together to compile their closing statement. All the team members must collaborate to propose a number of solutions that are to be implemented. The team's biggest challenge is to ensure that their closing statement is both coherent and in line with their team's position. Teams must therefore have a solid understanding of their position so that the closing statement can be steered towards solutions that are favorable for their team's position. The closing statement must be given by any team member other than the person who delivered the opening statement. The closing statement must summarize your team's approach to the issue being debated. You can do this by using the framework of your policy from your opening statement in order to react to the various events of the debate.
Closing statements are not intended for introducing new arguments into the debate, only to strengthen and recap them, helping to ensure a win. You will blow the judges away if you confidently and consistently explain in the closing statement what your team feels about the outcome of the debate. There should be no doubt. The way forward should be clearly outlined. Closing statements should show consistency and a clear understanding of what the resolutions mean within the context of the topic.
As I close my eyes, I wonder what to tell my grandchildren one day. That it was one giant leap or one giant lie.
And there you are, a super science hero of the future.
Make sure to take down your provincial facilitator's contact details. You may have some questions and queries along the way. If you lost it, then you are welcome to contact Lizelle the Brain on 021 976 3366 or Lizelle at wordwisemedia.co.za.
There's a saying that goes, if all else fails, read the manual. And believe me, that is very good advice. The debating manual will provide answers to almost all of the questions you may still have. It's a good read. We recommend it.